We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers, tight end, WWE aficionado, sneakerhead. There's so much here. The table is so full. How you doing, man? Second year of Tight End University. Congrats.
Hey, you know what? I'm doing great. Excited about Tight End U. You mentioned the WWE. You know, I'm all over that. You know, I'm all over the NHL playoffs. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm kind of an open book. I've actually been negotiating Deebo's deal. I'm his agent. So if you want to ask me about that too, like I'm all here. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here for it.
This is great. The Deebo Samuel mystery. We're finally going to get to the bottom of all this.
It's my fault. I swear it's all on me.
All right. Well, look, first and foremost, I want to ask you about Tight End University. This is, I'm telling you, it's funny when you go through training camps over the years. I've been covering the NFL a long time. You kind of see when teams start to ask you when cut downs are coming and they start to ask you about other guys that are getting freed up on other teams, you kind of start to see trends. And I've been telling people the last couple of years, you get a lot of teams will ask you, are there any turn and run linebackers that are going to get cut? Anybody going to get cut loose? And what I'm hearing in my mind is people are freaked out about tight ends becoming better athletes and they're themselves trying to figure out how do we got to find linebackers who can cover these guys or figure out a way to roll a DB onto them. To me, this is perfect. Like, this is great. And I feel like it's been a long time coming. That I feel like this position it's ripe. Like, it's ready to blossom and become, it's already important. But I think now you see teams are really starting to lean into, this is the mismatch that we can create.
Oh, you're not wrong at all. I mean, I think after either the 2018 season or 2019 season, two teams in our division drafted linebackers in the first round. And you can see that. I mean, every team in the AFC West, if you don't have a legit linebacker, how are you going to cover Travis Kelce, Darren Waller? Let's see who else is over there. Oh yeah. I mean, those two by themselves are incredible, but like there's just tight ends all over the league right now. I mean, there's a good starter in almost every team. And it's also shown, if you look at the past Super Bowls, how many of the teams haven't had like a phenomenal tight end as a starter. I mean, I know Higbee missed for the Rams, but he was a huge part of their team, and he's a very good football player that, I mean, in my opinion, gets underutilized. But I mean, he's a hell of a football player too. And I mean, you look at the Patriots' success with Gronk, the Buccaneers' success with Gronk, Travis Kelce. Like, you have all these teams have these legit tight ends, and it's like, oh, hey, if we have a guy that can just dominate the middle of the field and also help in the run game, hey, that is an absolute weapon, and we might as well invest in them.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons passed on quarterbacks to draft Kyle Pitts. I mean,
yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, I mean, it's, to me, that the idea of the massive number of mismatches that can be made. I remember, I mean, when Antonio Gates came on the scene, and you know, I was covering the league, and it was like, is this real? Like, is this what this guy is doing right now? Is this? And I thought at that time, if this is where the league is going with the tight end position, a guy like this, I feel like we're getting a lot closer to that. But I'm curious whether you think you start to look at, like, you're seeing all these draft classes where it's like loaded, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. It's loaded because you see lower levels are developing the kids. They're playing a lot more. They're playing through the summers. You know, there's 7-on-7 camps, all these different things. Is there just kind of a void of teaching at the lower levels with tight ends? Like, why? I feel like more kids, particularly in high school and I guess even college, have to start to recognize, like, hey, like, if I really want, like, my goal is to get to the NFL and I'm special and I'm an athlete, maybe I shouldn't wait for the coach to slot me somewhere else. Maybe I should say, hey, I want to play tight end. I want to be a different cat out on the field.
You know what's crazy? So we had this discussion. I was on part of my take last night with Greg Olsen, and we were talking about that exact thing. And it's like, you know, I don't want to say that coaches in high school are bad. I just think coaches in high school don't understand how to coach the tight end position, because it's never really been an important position in high school. It's, right, hey, we're going to toss the ball to our 5-star running back, or we're going to throw a slant to our best guy. So it's a basic offense. And I know there's better offenses out there that do more stuff, but like, that's the basics of it. And the tight end position has always been kind of on, well, hey, let's put the lanky kid over there who's not heavy enough to play offensive line, but he's not fast enough to play wide receiver. And So that's just kind of where, the tight end position is in high school. And, hopefully with Tight End U, in the next couple of years, we get it to a point where we can invite high school kids with the new NIL stuff. And that would be pretty spectacular. So we're looking into that stuff, but really, it is a little bit of the coaching. Like, I didn't play tight end until I got to college. I showed up day one and they were like, my scholarship, it says I was an athlete, and they put me at tight end at 200 pounds. They said, hey, learn how to run block, you'll never play here. And I said, okay, like, let's just see what happens. And that worked for me. But yeah, I mean, if you can develop, like, can you imagine being a 17-year-old kid that actually has an understanding of how to run block? How much of an advantage you'd have going into college, just so you're not just, going into it blind. Like, there's the possibilities are, the coach tight ends, like for us, like Greg Olsen, me, Travis Kelce, I feel like we can all give them such insight. And also, I want to ask you a question. If you could ask Antonio Gates any question as a tight end, like, what would you ask him?
I'm always fascinated with the best guys, particularly guys who can block and receive. I always want to know, like, the one time they wipe somebody out, like, just, I mean, everybody, I'm sure touchdowns is exciting, offense is exciting, but I haven't played football since high school, but still the one thing I can remember is pulling on a play and a DB didn't see me coming and just killing the kid.
Love it.
For whatever reason, now I'm 45. I still remember the feeling that I had just on that one block. I always wonder, the great tight ends, don't tell me about the touchdowns. Don't tell me about the catches. Tell me about who was it that you just absolutely decleated and still can think. I mean, I'll ask you that. Who you got it? There's got to be somebody, some hit where you're like, man, I remember that one.
One of my favorite ones, we played Cincinnati in 2019, and we had a screen to the left side. I think it was the Deebo. And so I arc release, and I got a one-on-one versus the corner, and he tried to twist away, and I caught his body, and he fell, and I basically gave him the people's elbow right through his rib cage. I just felt his soul leave his body. That was a fun one. Like, I'll never forget that one. But I asked about Antonio Gates because at Tight End U this year, which is proudly presented by Charmin.
Yes, absolutely.
We're bringing legends back, and Antonio Gates is one of the legends we're trying to bring back. So he'll hopefully be up in front of all these tight ends.
That's awesome.
Speaking to us, we got him. Tony Gonzalez is going to come for a day. And then my personal favorite, Dallas Clark, will also be there. So I'm excited to learn from him as well, and maybe learn about what kind of sticky tape he used on his fingers instead of gloves.
That's great. Yeah. All those years without wearing gloves. Good God. I can't imagine how many times he broke a finger.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to I know, but I do know this. He has like those thick farmer's hands. Like, I got my mom's basketball hands. Like, they're skinny and it is what it is. But Dallas has those thick, lumbersome hands. And so that's probably why, he's got
farmer's hands. So. I have farmer's hands too. So I appreciate that. I guess with so you had like 50 last year, right? Was it like 50 guys last year?
We had 49. That was our number. So go Niners.
And so you've grown it this year, right? You're tipping on 80 now, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, literally, so our goal is to get to 80. We have a bunch of invites out there, hopefully with this announcement as well, more guys will reach out and like, hey, where's my invite? And then I can send them said invite. Cause it's hard to, wrangling tight ends is a lot like, cats. Everyone's just kind of everywhere and not paying attention, or they're busy doing stuff. So it's just like, you're just kind of casting a wide net and hoping people check their Instagrams, because I don't have everybody's email or text message or their phone number. So we're working on it. But yeah, no, our goal is to get to 80, and like, it's all like, I gotta plug my sponsors here, because they are the reason it's all possible. It starts off with Charmin, because Tight End U is presented by Charmin, because they have your backside. They love tight ends. They love them so much. They're incredible. So they've blessed us with a fantastic donation. Levi's is coming in strong, because they want to give jeans to those tight ends and protect those tight ends as well. And Levi's is a great company as well. They work with that's our stadium name is Levi's, so that's fun to be able to work with them. One of my personal favorites, because when the boys are all together, what's better than a couple crispy Bud Lights? And so Bud Light is going to be there with us as well. And then just to end it, Bridgestone, which is based out of Nashville, is going to be there and help us out too. Just kind of help us take over that downtown Nashville area. And so we've got 4 sponsors, big sponsors, that are really helping us out. And they're allowing us to bring these guys in. We're basically paying for everything but their flights. So their hotel room, their food, their transportation, their evening events, everything's on us. And once we spend all that, all the money that we have left over gets donated right back to charities, like the Boys and Girls Club and other charities throughout Nashville. So it's a fun experience to be able to bring everybody in, then also give back at the same time.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully I can get out there and maybe cover it next year.
I mean, hey, look, if you're in Nashville between June 22nd and June 24th, you might see us.
All right. Well, I'll have to hit you up. Definitely got to get a credential for it. What look, you brought up Deebo. I'm sure, you've done the rounds today. I'm sure you've been asked about Deebo plenty. Is he going to be on the field? Like, I think that's just the anxiety when you look at the fan base and how they're reacting to things. I think everybody just wants to know, like, hey, is this going to get worked out? And will he be on the field? Your boys with him, your best guess. You think he's going to be out there?
Oh, my best guess. I mean, I think Deebo is going to be a Niner. I do. Guys, contract stuff is tough, right? Like my contract experience, it was in the middle of COVID. I couldn't hold out from OTAs because they got canceled. I definitely would have. I know like the trade thing is there. I guys go through it. I don't judge you. Whatever you want to do it. Whatever you think's in your best interest, do it.
Right.
If Deebo wants to be a Niner and play here forever, or as long as his contract allows him, I'd love it. If he doesn't want to play here, I wish him the best of luck everywhere he goes because he's a hell of a football player and he's a good dude. So, we're here and we're practicing. Guys are working out. He's not a distraction at all. Like we're all like, hey, Deebo, do what you need to do. And then if you come back, we'd love to have you. And it is what it is. It's the business.
It's hard though from that offense. You and Deebo are such instrumental, pieces of that offense. I'm on the AP voting panel for like All Pro, and so when I call, NFC West, you are the two guys where any opposing teams will look when you start defensively, we start scheming. These are the two guys that we start with, and then when they start talking about Deebo, it's just the multitude of different things he can do inside that offense that make it so difficult. They don't know, particularly individually, how they can scheme up against him. I mean, that to not have him there, obviously, I know you wish a guy is best and, everybody's got to secure the bag and I'm all for that 100%. There's no question though, that would be a really, really difficult piece to replace in that offense.
Oh yeah. You're not wrong at all. I don't want to replace Deebo. I want Deebo on my team. The only thing that with Deebo leaving that would come in the tournament would be like 2 first-round picks, which, hey, 2 first-round picks would be really nice as well. But like Deebo's Deebo. Every time you put the ball in his hands, it's a potential touchdown. And there's not a lot of guys in the league like that. There's a handful. So when you have a guy that's that explosive, that is that dynamic, that can do that much, that can play that long, those are guys you want to sign to a contract. Those are guys that you want to be a part of the team. That's who you want as the foundation of your team and your offense. And so, yeah, I mean, Deebo's a fantastic football player. He was first team All Pro for a reason. He was at the Pro Bowl for a reason. He's a monster for a reason. So like, he's going to get paid what he deserves. I hope he does. But like I said, it's his career. So if he wants to be a 49er, he'll be a 49er. If he doesn't, he won't. But, it's not going to – contracts are tough. Negotiations are tough. I've been through it. So whatever he wants to do, whatever's best for him and his family, we all have his back.
You guys are out there, you're working out, OTAs are rolling now and you're going to have full squads pretty soon. Trey Lance, big topic of conversation. Anytime, obviously, look, you trade the picks to get up and get a kid. The writing's on the wall. This is who we're betting on as being our starter. Jimmy, to his credit, Jimmy Garoppolo went through last season, was a pro's pro. Showed up, did his thing. You hear a peep out of him. I mean, this is probably the best case scenario for any NFL team would be to have Jimmy totally take last season the way that he did. Now you're entering this sort of rotation, and there's this question about Trey. Like, is he ready? Is he going to be the starter? What's going to happen with Jimmy? It's got to feel weird. Like, this has got to be weird for you as a player, because look, you're what's going on with the young kid. You're back in the vet. You're close to these guys, but this has to be a weird situation.
You know what? The only thing that has made it less weird is that I've been involved with QB controversy in the Niners for my entire career. Every offseason I'm in, it's Jimmy G, Trey Lance, what quarterback, what's the next answer? It's just like, you know what? At the end of the day, someone's going to be lined up behind center and they're going to be throwing me the ball. So I just hope that they throw me the ball more than they throw other people the ball, and I'll be really happy. So like, I love Jimmy. He has taken us to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. We were a minute away, a third down away from winning that. So it's like, yeah, we know what Jimmy can do. He's a great quarterback. He's a fantastic leader. Hey, on the other hand, you have Trey Lance, who's a fantastic young talent with a cannon of an arm, can run, can extend plays. Some of the plays he makes in practice, I'm like, holy cow, like that was a video game play. And so it's just, they're two completely different players. And the best thing that could have happened last year with Jimmy and how he handled it, which you said everything, professional, best of the best, like unreal, because it was an awkward situation for him. And he took Trey Lance under his wing, and Trey was able to learn from him and be able to become a pro and be able to learn how to take notes, learn how to digest Kyle Shanahan's offense, which is confusing. And so I know Trey took steps forward because of, being under Jimmy's wing. So we'll see what happens. Like, I don't know. That's up to Kyle Shanahan. And, Kyle, that's all on you, dog. You got it. I believe in you, man. Good luck. But, at the end of the day, look, I play time for the 49ers, and whoever's wearing that logo next to me behind center, I can't wait to play with them, And, who knows, man? You got Nate Sudfeld here too, who looks fantastic. He's been great for us. And we also have Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, Iowa State's finest. Are you kidding me? Never thought I would say that out loud, but I did. Go Hawks. But hey, you know what? We had a full quarterback room. I'm looking to see him compete. Whatever happens, happens. And I know that Shanahan's going to have us ready to go week one.
Is it, Mike McDaniel obviously goes to Miami. How does that change? I guess there were people in the building who would talk, conceptually about things that Mike would bring to the table. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I was told, that there were even times where Mike would come and to Kyle and say, hey, kind of thinking this, maybe we could do this. And Kyle would say like, oh, wow, like just give me a little time to absorb this. Like Mike was advanced enough that he was bringing things to Kyle that Kyle was like, okay, let me look at this and figure it out and see if this is something that can work, which to me is a pretty big deal. Like Kyle knows what the hell he's doing in this league. Yeah. There's no question about that. But now losing Mike, I mean, how much does that really change?
Well, I'll tell you this, and as the most of this is a compliment, Mike. So you're like a mad scientist, dog. You really are. And it's so much fun. It was so much fun to be able to work with you. Now, he would come in with plays, and like the offense from when I was a rookie going into then year 3, it was completely different, the run game. And then year 5, it was totally different. So like how it evolves and how he game plan stuff, it's incredible. And it's definitely a value that we're going to miss. Now, at the end of the day, I feel like I've still struck gold with Kyle Shanahan, who knows the offense and he knows what he wants to accomplish. And, our new run game coordinator, Coach Furster, our O-line coach, sitting in meetings with him, he's awesome. So like, I'm excited. It's going to be different, but I know that we still you don't win games based on scheme, in my opinion. You have to have players that can operate at that scheme. Right. And, when I have Trent Williams and you line up me next to Trent Williams, I don't know if there's a better combo in the league at run blocking. And I don't know if there ever has been, because he's the best football player on the planet, him and Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, close second. But like when you line up next to him and with the scheme that we have and the players that we have, I'm not worried. And I know that Mike is going to bring some awesome stuff to Miami, and they're going to be a really good football team too. Look at all their signings and everything. And I wish them nothing but success, unless it's against us. And, I'm looking forward to playing them too. But yeah, losing Mike, it definitely sucks, especially like his quirkiness and his sneakerhead, which me and him would usually just talk about sneakers while watching run tape. But it'll be kind of fun just to experience something new. Definitely.
All right, well, we got to get you out of here, but I got to ask you before you go, because you are a sneakerhead. I live in Texas. Austin, I don't know if you've ever been on Trade Block, but that's where, Trade Block was founded in Austin. You got all these guys trading sneakers on Trade Block. What does your collection look like, and what's your favorite pair?
So I have a bedroom in California. So out here in San Jose, I have a bedroom that's dedicated. I got the clear sneaker boxes up the wall along all 4 awesome. Walls. Shout out to my wife and mom for putting those together. You guys are queens. Because I'm lazy sometimes. No, let's see. Most of my collection is either Jordan 1s or Dunks. I love Dunks. I'm addicted to them. There's a shoe store out here in Cali called the Fix Kicks. They're the best. They help me find shoes. They call me, hey, George, do you want these? They give me stuff on my birthday. Bless their hearts. They're incredible. But honestly, one of my favorite shoes that I wear consistently, I love the Off-White Blazers, that whole collection.
Oh, yeah.
From the Grim Reapers are actually the first sneaker I ever bought, to my collection. So I had the Grim Reapers. Then I went to the Halloween ones that are orange. I
saw those. Yeah.
So I got those. I got the Serena Williams ones, which are gray with the purple heels. So I collect all those. I love all the Jordan 1 Off-White stuff too. I got all the Fear of Gods. I have a lot of sneakers. I have way more sneakers than my wife does. She tells me that all the time. But I'm like, hey, babe, look, I'm not in the watch game yet. I don't buy suits. I play video games. I buy sneakers and I pancake people. So that's about all I do.
Thank God you're not in the watch game because that gets expensive. Really, I mean, not the sneakers don't.
Goodness,
man, watches are crazy.
I got to hang out with Mitchell Schwartz, the offensive lineman for the Chiefs. We're at Alex Mack's wedding in Ireland, and he was talking about his watch. Like this is just a track. This track's like my workout stuff. That's about it. But he was like, he's really into all the watches, and like he was talking about him, and I have no idea. But I listened to him talking about. I was like, oh my gosh, like this sounds really fun to get into, but. No thanks. Like I'm good, man. Like maybe second, third contract, maybe, but right now I'm chilling.
That's tight end university 2035 stuff. Let it expand. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, George, I appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you for the time. Everybody, I'm sure, is looking forward to tight end university. Shout out to the sponsors, and hopefully, I'll get a chance to see you in training camp.
Oh, you know what? I would love that. And I want to add one more thing. Let's see. Oh, I got 1 minute. Got two questions for you. One, okay. One's more of a statement. Hey, Nashville Predators, please re-sign Phil Forsberg. Secondly, what are your thoughts on this? Skip Bayless 2 days ago said that Micah Parsons was better than Nick Bosa. Any thoughts on that?
It's a little early. I
mean, I know you have a rookie and then a guy that's only played 2 seasons. So how do you compare them?
Yeah, I mean, Micah, the versatility, moving him around.
Oh yeah, great. Don't get me wrong. Micah Parsons is a hell of a football player. But Nick Bosa is the only person in the entire NFL that's ever made me feel like an insignificant run blocker.
That is a hell of an endorsement.
Oh my gosh. I remember the first time I ever passed pro against him, I set and I punched and he grabbed my wrists, pulled me forward and he sacked Jimmy. And I looked it down and I was like, all right, can't do that again. Like, I don't know what to do now. What is the coaching point?
He's prepping you. He's prepping you for anybody. I mean, it's everybody's inferior. I'm sure once you get on the field, you're like, oh my God, so much easier dealing with these other guys.
It is crazy now. All those edge rushers now, they're all just freaks. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. I'll like to not have Micah Parsons one-on-one, but I would prefer to not have Nick Bosa one-on-one either.
Yeah. I think
it was a pleasure.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it, man. We'll see you soon.
That was fun.